What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Layne and I'm a nurse and nurse practitioner student, and on this channel I share with you guys plenty of my tips and tricks about how to get through FNP school, and I'm also on the road to getting my doctorate in nursing practice, so there's also some tips for those of you guys who are also going that route as well. In this video though, I am focusing on surviving health assessment and things that you should do to help you pass with flying colors and to not get discouraged while doing so. All right, let's get into today's video. The first thing that helped me when I was going through health assessment is to try to focus system by system as you're starting to practice your assessment and starting to figure out what would be positive and negative findings. Really try to stick with one system at a time, or do a few, like maybe 2 or 3 systems at a time. And usually your program will also do that as well, but just try not to get too overwhelmed with the fact that you are doing all of this in a semester, but try to just focus on one system, see about special tests in that system, and try to go from there. Also, when you're practicing, try to just start by doing one system that you're practicing on and you're assessing on someone, and just really work that one system until you kind of have a flow of the assessment and what order you kind of want to do things. Like if you're doing heat, try to figure out, I know that there's certain things that your school is going to tell you that you have to do, but a lot of times you can still mix up the order a little bit and still pass. So if it's easier for you to do check ears first, or check the scalp first, or check the neck first, because that's where your mind goes first, and you have some kind of a logic that flows to whatever you're assessing next, try to work on that and try to figure out what your particular rhythm is, because sometimes when you follow the exact order that the school is telling you, that might not work for your brain. So figure out what flow is going to work for you while still matching up to the requirements that they want you to hit. And with that, make sure you're finding a loved one or a friend who you can practice on, or if you are able to be in person for school, try to see if there's classmates who can work with you and you guys can quiz each other. Kind of, if you let someone assess you, you might be thinking in your mind, what should they be assessing next? And so that's also quizzing you. And then you can work on them and assess them, and you guys can really hold each other accountable. But again, if you don't have a classmate that you can work with, loved ones are still great, and usually they're so willing to let you assess them. And you just have to keep doing that, keep working it. And they don't know when you're doing things wrong either, so sometimes that's also kind of a nice feeling. But you're definitely gonna want another human being that you can assess, because though you can try to just memorize it in your mind, you also kind of want to get the muscle memory of physically being able to put your hands on a patient and what does it look like to physically assess them. While you're practicing on your loved one or classmate, make sure you're actually talking out what you're doing. Like, okay, I'm looking at your pupils. This is what I'm checking for. And to go a step further, what you could say is, this is what would be a positive finding. This is what would be a negative finding. So even if the person doesn't really understand what you're saying, your loved one isn't in healthcare, that's fine, but it's really just for you to talk it out loud. If you're with a classmate, that's even better, because they can also remind you of things that you might be forgetting when it comes to positive and negative findings. Because remember, the whole point of health assessment isn't just to go through the motions. You're thinking about what would be abnormal if you assessed it. And that's something that's going to help you if you have exams in health assessment as well, to kind of remember what you're looking for. Something that also helped to remind me what I was looking for and kind of quizzed some of my knowledge was using case studies to review what I would be assessing in that patient. So I've been using the book called Case Files, Family Medicine. And I didn't have this when I was in health assessment, but I wish that I did. And I think that it would be a great resource to kind of help you guys if you're looking for case studies that maybe can help quiz you in health assessment. They have case studies at the beginning of each chapter. And I believe there's at least like 60 of them in the book, maybe 50 or 60. And if you just read them, even if you're not at the point where you're able to figure out a management plan or a care plan, don't even worry about that yet. But if you just read the case study and you see, okay, this person's coming in for a respiratory issue, what systems would you then assess? And then you can quiz yourself based on that. And that's something that you really should know have a basic knowledge of at the end of health assessment is if a person comes in with this type of complaint, what type of assessment are you going to do? Which systems are you going to assess? Which systems would you not necessarily need to assess in a focused exam? So I think going through case studies would really help you guys as students with that. And the last piece of advice that I'll say is that you just have to wash, rinse, and repeat, and you just have to practice. And I know it can be annoying and time consuming, but at the end of the day, you do just have to keep assessing, keep doing your head to toe, keep practicing, because eventually it will get ingrained and it will be like muscle memory. But that's not going to happen if you don't put in the time. But don't get discouraged. I know it feels overwhelming at the beginning of the semester when there's so much that you have in front of you, but by the end of the semester, you really will know your head to toe exam. You just have to practice, and like I said, break it down into bits. It's the same way, like the saying goes, like, how do you eat an elephant, right? Like one bite at a time. So all that to say, just take it 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time, and you're gonna get through. But I hope that these tips helped you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys use to get through health assessment, or let me know what you're struggling with in health assessment right now. But make sure to give this video a like, give it a little thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel because I'm gonna have more tips coming your way. All right, guys, hang in there. Peace.